So this is the video about the mix preparation final presentation of the song, and I just wanted to give you a glimpse of what the Pro Tools session looks like. We've already seen a little bit of Ableton and the pre-production process of time stretching the original demo, and then we also went through the people who use Logic, how I kind of prep a session a little bit, and then when I got it back, how I prepped it for export into Pro Tools, and we also did a little bit of video about drum importing. So just figured I'd show you. Now here we have all the final tracks. I've made them kind of small so you can see. There's quite a few. I've got the three-piece horns. I've got a little bit of percussion that is fairly low in the mix, and then I've got vocalists, drums, 4 tracks of drums. That's it. And the Rhodes, and then we just added a couple of synths. The keyboard player and I thought it just might make the chorus pop a little bit more, and some other sections as well. And then my bass. And for the drums, we did a Glyn Johns kind of thing where we have a kick, a snare, and one straight up overhead, and then one at a right angle, equidistant to the snare, kind of side kit somewhere near the tom tom. So that was kind of fun. Dealing with the restraints of certain musicians' mic collections, it was the best way to go, and I thought it sounded pretty good. So I have some things color coordinated the way I like it, but I also have everything's going to auxes. For instance, you can see here bass, and then we also have different auxes for vocals. I have some parallel compression going on for the drums. I also have separate auxes for each individual instrument, and they're all going out the main mix bus. It's how I like to work. I don't go straight through audio 1 and 2 or output 1 and 2. I always record, I always have everything going to a final aux, and then what I'll do is I have the master track just to check. Sometimes I'll put a level meter on it, but in this case I'm just going to create an audio track and then record into the session. That way if I need to change anything, I can actually just punch in on the mix. I don't have to start from scratch. And I think rendering sometimes some glitches can happen in automation and things like that. But for this, there's not much automation because we just want it straightforward. So the main thing is I use this Lexicon room, which I really like. It's kind of set to a medium live room, and it is on pretty much every aux, even the bass a little bit actually, and that's what's going to simulate somewhat of the feeling of everybody kind of playing together in the studio. That's going to create a really nice kind of woody kind of, not too large. We're not recording in Studio One in Abbey Road, but something that will give the effect of a little bit of fake bleedage, I think, is really the simulation of it. If you put it on everything and then you compress it a little bit, I have a Fairchild simulator compressor on the actual room sound, and I set it to lat vert, which is a fantastic thing that the Fairchild has. This particular, it's not left right, this would be compressing the center, and then this would be compressing all the material far left and far right. So you can really hit the room hard either in the center or far left, far right, which I really enjoy. So that's kind of getting the sound. Other than that, there weren't any crazy production tricks on this one. I have my template kind of set up where I have eighth delay, quarter note. I didn't really use much of anything of that just because I wanted to keep it kind of natural for this particular project, and just keep the song as apparent as possible and not bury it with effects and things like that, because the point of the project was just to listen for how things collaborated. So um, I hope you enjoy the mix on SoundCloud, and that's just a brief description of my mix prep. So I hope you enjoy it, and thanks again for everything.